person who knows even more about blockchain than Brie and I do. How is that even possible? Let me give you Peter Kirchner, technical evangelist at Microsoft. And Peter, let me give you a microphone.
Sorry, just a momentary technical.
Do you hear me? Yes. Is the mic on? Yeah.
Try again?
Hello, 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 hello. Good. Thanks. Perfect. Cool. So many people want to hear something about blockchain. So I'm here today to tell you a little bit about how we work with our customers and partners who are also on the exploration to learn and to know what they can do with blockchain. You know, already from Tatjana, my name is Peter Kirchner, I'm a tech evangelist. That means I work my daily job with developers and software companies who are building stuff with our technologies. So, some background, you already got a really, really good introduction. I want to focus you again on 4 important pillars of blockchain. What do you have to take away from today? So, the one you have already heard, it's secure. That means that you have cryptography in place for the transaction. You use hashes to make unique IDs of the blocks. You have a shared value because every participant in this blockchain has a common goal of keeping the blockchain intact because it stores the value which they are putting into the chain. So we have a shared value. The next one is ledger. A ledger is a term which you know from accounting maybe. That means if you have a transaction, you don't easily delete it. If you want to undo a transaction, you cannot remove it. You make another transaction to do something which reverses the thing. But if you have a ledger, you have a set of records which you never change. If you want to change something, you have to create a new record. And the next thing which makes it trustworthy, it's decentralized. That means every participant in this blockchain can keep his own ledger. That means, for example, with Bitcoin, we have globally around more than 10,000 nodes of computers who have a full copy of the ledger. That means that every peer in this network can compare its information to the other nodes. That means if only one wants to change that information, it's not easy because then there are 9,000 other nodes who have other information about the transaction. And the more nodes you have in the blockchain, the more trustworthy it gets. So why is this decentralization thing so disruptive? Yeah. Everyone says blockchain is disruptive, and here are some reasons what could happen. The first thing is you don't need intermediaries anymore. You already heard it. You don't need a bank. You can make a direct transfer to someone or to somewhat. Yeah. As you already heard, blockchain is not limited to humans. Also, a device could be a participant in this blockchain and be on its own an economic unit. So this is, of course, very disruptive because there are many business models today which depend on being an intermediary, like the banks, like Uber, for example. Uber is brand new, is replacing the old taxi driver business, but with blockchain, Uber could be replaced by a new technology, and that could be very easily done. The next thing is we could reduce fraud, waste, and abuse because we have this transparency with the blockchain. Everyone has the full copy and can have a full copy, don't need have to, but can have a full copy of the ledger. So everyone knows about everything. So fraud is, in this case, what is in the blockchain is not possible because you can see it on your own. And of course, this is a dependency on the abuse thing, because if you don't have something that is hidden from you, you cannot abuse the system. The next disruptive reason is, and it could increase efficiency and speed, because if you don't have intermediaries between, and you have direct connections with someone, and you don't have some companies or vendors or service vendors who are doing some magic as an offering, you are saving time. I have a good example later on where I can show you how this could work. And the last thing is the hope from the enterprises out there, that with blockchain they can save based on the reasons, no abuse, no increased speedness, etc., that they can save money. But that's of course something they hope right now, because many companies right now don't really know what to do with it. They are exploring, they are trying out what they can do with it, but there are not much companies who are really useful things right now. Everyone is right now in some kind of being a pioneer, of having the idea, trying ideas, and hoping that they have the one idea that they can make money with. So here are 4 industries which think they are most important using the blockchain. Of course, the financial industry, you have already heard, the banks, trying to embrace the blockchain, not trying to block it, because they already have recognized they cannot block it. That's the reason they embrace it. They want to use the blockchain on their own to save money on their infrastructure and doing maybe things much cheaper. Healthcare is an example where you have many participants, like the different clinics, you have the different doctors, you have the insurances, you have the patients, of course. And this is also an area where we have currently a lot of fraud. I think you have read the press about misusing our social system, which costs the state a lot of money. And if you have a transparency about transactions, then there's also the hope that you can make it more secure and save money. But I want to stress it a little bit. This is what the people think they can do with it. This is nothing real right now. So from technology, I've seen many technologies which are really great, and we have to see how they evolve. Government, of course, and we have seen the example with the house, a very good example. That is something what we already have seen in Letland. I hope there's an English word for it. Letland. Yeah. Latvia. Latvia. Thank you. They are very innovative. They have the government is already using the blockchain, and they have the first steps done, going to have the land titles being in the blockchain. This is one of the most commonly used cases you hear about, and that is very important to know that if you want to buy something, that is not in the possession of another one, because you see the paper which could be forged. I had this in my not in my own experience, but a friend of mine wanted to buy a house with a land, and just got information by accident that it's already sold. And he would have paid it in cash, because the guy who wanted to sell it said, "Oh, I only sell it to you if you pay with cash." And with that, you could check those things. Retail manufacturing is also an industry which is really, really curious about what they can do. This is also the industry where I personally had the most talks with companies, and the reason is there are a lot of regulations, there is customs, there are policies. For example, in the supply chain, there are a lot of countries who have policies in place that you don't allow to have goods which have child work in it. Yeah? And you as a company have to prove it. So what they're doing right now is tracking the whole supply chain from being a raw material until the final good which is eventually sold to an end customer. And this is possible to track in the blockchain. The only difficulty here is which is not resolved right now is defining identities, because blockchain is digital, so you need an ID. That means a number, for example. But how you give a number to a stone, for example? It's much easier to give a number to a person, because you say, this person has a number 101, but define an ID for a stone or some other material, or to oil. This is not so simple. This is something that the industry is exploring right now. Or take, for example, also a good example, car manufacturers. What is the idea of a car? Is this a car frame? Is this the license plate? Is this the engine? And what is this the same car if you change something from the car? If you take the engine out of the car and put a new one, do you have a new car, or is this the old one? This is those questions which the industry is currently asking themselves. So here an example about a pilot which we have done between Microsoft and the Bank of America Merrill Lynch. This is a division of Bank of America which do all the acquisition stuff and lending greater amounts of money. This was in the past a really difficult process, and here you see the streamlined process using blockchain. So you have a really straightforward way. You see in the first place you have two parties who agree on a deal, and typically you need you need a proof that you are able to buy, or you have the money to sell the deal, or to pay the deal. The next thing is then typically you need a standby letter of credit. I have to research it on my own. That is a letter where the bank of the one party says to the other bank, well, my client is able to sell you, and if he goes bankrupt or other reason he cannot pay you, we as bank pay you. So it's a proof and a guarantee for a deal. So the next thing is then the applicant bank this is the one who wants to prove they can pay the money, issues such a standby letter of credit, says positive, you can make the deal. The next step is then the other bank checks that document, if it's true, if it's enough money, etc., if there is a contract in place, etc. Many difficult manual processes were here in place, and the last step is then, the credit letter the standby letter of credit is activated, you can use it, go into the deal and do whatever you want to do. In the past, it looked like this. You have different parties who everyone speaks with another, and you have to send documents, like you mentioned. You send documents much around, and this is the process how we did it with blockchain. This is in place since last year. So this is our own Microsoft Treasury unit who uses this new system. And Bank of America Merrill Lynch was already awarded as a very innovative bank, so it's quite natural that they're also one of the first ones who want to try this system. So next example is WebChat. WebChat, who have heard of WebChat, is more in Australia and US, is a travel company who reservates a lot of hotel rooms for their clients. And what I have also to learn with this case is there is a quite significant amount of service services done which never get paid, because there are many intermediaries in this place from make a reservation for a room. Then there are 6 other companies between, which I never know of. If I go to, in my case, I go to another booking portal maybe, but if I book a room, I never see the 6 other companies who are doing some magic. But this magic is done, and those magic costs money. And what they have done here in this place is they have all these intermediaries which they don't want to replace. Their goal is not to replace intermediaries, they want to create transparency. So everyone in this chain gets paid for his services they have done. And we are not speaking about a very high part which was not paid, but it was around 5% of all services which never have been paid. But if you think about the travel industry, we are speaking here about billions of dollars, so even 5% makes sense to care about. So that was also a case where they have used blockchain to create the transparency. Like you have heard, this is a ledger which everyone can see what transactions have been done. There are many other industries and examples which I cannot cover today, but here's just you have a glimpse about the use cases and scenarios the industry can think about. I think you later get also the slides so you can see what ideas industry has, and this is all a playground right now, where companies try to find a spot where they can save money, where they can make more trust, they can make it more secure, etc. What is the current work we as Microsoft do in this case, and what we see in cooperation with our customers and partners we are working with? First, we see very few production in the real world. So, as I said in the beginning, they are all exploring, they are trying, and they have ideas, and it's often those are pilots. That means it's in parallel to other systems right now. And what we also see is the development tools and the frameworks around which developers and IT persons could use are not mature. So there are many limits, there are not much experience, so of course there are many errors or mistakes made, but as you know, from mistakes you learn. And this is what the companies right now want to do. So they want to learn, because it's a time to use the blockchain. The hype is intense, so many companies doing something. If you look at the news, you are reading 300 news a day about blockchain. It's not easy to keep up to date. And that means there are many offerings from companies which will survive, and much more technology will die. Yeah? But this is quite normal. That is the software Darwinism. Yeah? The best technology will survive. And this is the next part. Many have ideas, even good ones, which maybe makes the world better, but they have no idea how to monetize it. Yeah? So, but as companies try always to monetize it, they struggle to find the way how they can make the world better, and on the same time, what is the benefit from it. And just a little example that you understand this point better, especially for software companies who are creating software which they sell. If they want to use the blockchain, they have a good idea. The data in the blockchain is open. So what is their unique selling point which other companies couldn't do? Because if they write a software which uses the blockchain, another company can see what they're doing with the blockchain and write a similar software doing it. Yeah? So that's something where especially software companies are thinking right now. So what are our approaches, what we are doing in our daily work? With customers and partners, We have, of course, joint discussions. It's just the thing like we're doing today. What is blockchain? What are the possibilities? What are the technical limits? They tell us their ideas, and we tell them, yeah, this is a good idea, or we tell them, no, it's a bad idea because it has nothing to do with blockchain. We are doing architectural design sessions, meaning we have a whiteboard, drawing some squares and lines, etc., and thinking about how such an architecture could look like. The next step would be then a proof of concept. That means we really take the time implementing some of it, what we have thought about. Means we are creating pilots, prototypes, and look if that could work, what we have thought about. We're doing simple workshops, meaning that all the employees of another company have the first feeling how it works with blockchain, what is it like to develop for it, or how to deploy it on a platform. And we work also with our blockchain partners. That means we find partners out there who are already experts in this area, and of course we want to work with them together because we don't have the resources to work with every of our partners or customers, so we can connect our blockchain partners with the partners who want to learn about blockchain. And of course we also work with the blockchain solution providers. That means the companies or communities who are creating the blockchains. Take for example Bitcoin, take Ethereum, Ars Recorder, Ripple, Factom, how they are all called. There's so many blockchains out there. We as Microsoft don't create a blockchain. We want to cooperate with the other ones because they know how to do it. And we are just providing the platform. And we're working with them together that they can work on our platform. This is the idea what we are driving. So how we can support the development process there. And how many people are here from the IT business in this room? Wow, okay, perfect. That's good. So we support this in this way that, how I said, we're providing the platform with Microsoft Azure. You have heard of Microsoft Azure? Of course, yes. For the other half, it's a cloud provider. This means you can buy computing power. And we want to provide the platform. That means if you want compute power, you can buy it with us, from us, and put your nodes, your blockchain nodes, on our platform. The next thing is integrating with your business. Every blockchain developer has the same challenges. You need identity management. You need key management. We have heard we have a lot of keys in this whole scenario, but where you store those keys securely? And those are common problems. And for those, we have already services in place at our cloud platform where solution developers can just use it and can focus on their business creating based on blockchain. And the last one is especially interesting for the companies because if they're building a solution on a platform with the cloud provider, they need to comply with regulations, with compliance challenges, etc. And this is not specific to blockchain. This is what we have generally to do because we are not only doing blockchain on our cloud platform, we're doing all other stuff also, and they all have the same challenges. Doing it in a compliant way. So I hope I'm in time, a little bit. I'm not often on time. Yeah. But if you want to keep a little bit up to date, you can read my blog or follow me on Twitter or write me an email, and then I have finished. I'm here today if you have questions. Thank you.
Very often. So if you wanna hear Peter talking about blockchain, just check the Meetup websites because he does a lot of talks. You did one just recently in Stuttgart, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. All right, a bio break or a beer break. Right on. So be back here, this room, same place in 10 minutes. Thanks everyone.